Hi! Hello, Random Rebel. Welcome back to Of the Devil. Last time, we were introduced to Morgan in this lovely cyberpunk world where she is an attorney assigned to a particular client who has been accused of being the Heartbreak Killer, a notorious serial killer. However, it's blatantly clear from the evidence and the investigation that she's done on the virtual crime scene that it's definitely not him, just solely based on his arm. And it looks like we're about to meet the DA and gonna have a kind of witness testimony thing with him, and I'm really hyped to see how it works in this game. So let's go. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, Detective. Hello, Mirage. Welcome to the stream.
Counselor, we have your client's written confession.
His written confession. Let's start there.
Okay, well...
We'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts. What's already known and what's agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, Counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. See, we found a note at his apartment. With his fingerprints on it. Apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. Oh, I love that sprite. Wow. But I've been building up my hand all night. I know I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for... Alright, here we go. How do we do this exactly? Analyze the facts as they're laid out and review the results in your hand. Alright, mouse of your reminder of what key point you're answering. Nice. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, we have to put it there. Okay. He was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? Win your first hand, yay. I found myself asking that exact same question. Oh, I love the OST.
What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene?
This diagram of the room. It's created from data you captured, right?
Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data. Yeah.
What's non-GMO?
Not much these days.
Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that?
Ceramic debris, huh? Was he from the vase that got tossed?
Actually, that's not possible.
Huh?
Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that?
How is that even possible?
He's even saying that
The lady at the garage sale told me you were so old and delicate. Damn it. The one time I try and thrift shop on my own.
Well, so what? What does it even matter?
If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it.
Then the debris must have come from somewhere else. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the stream. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am. Because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidget-bob. Fidget-tack. God damn it.
Fidget tubbies.
What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. And this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology.
Can you prove that?
We're taking this seriously. As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note. We can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Those things. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for bringing her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that. And there's proof. The arm. I bet in the future we'll have to put over the right thing. Just take a closer look at that rental you took into custody. Huh? One step of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. I knew she collected it. I thought she would. Whatever. You did take it into custody. Now I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes?
Now that you mention it.
Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. Happy. Overjoyed. Because
Even a Chief Arms got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right?
Right.
See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. Said that rental hadn't been used since the AM.
Whose side are you on, old man?
It's gotten pretty late, Sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can.
Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service! Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded! Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is right-handed. Because Carlos is right-handed.
Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something?
So the reason why that note looks like an asylum wall scribble is just because he had to use his left hand to write it.
I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account, it's alongside the ceramics.
Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood. Right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is... What? You're gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me. In her typical low-key fashion. You won't always have the stronger hand. Sounds best you can just hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. I'll try and lose as little credit as possible while you wait for a more favorable chance. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? Oh, well, this is cool. Justice Blind, stay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, this reminds me of the logic chess. It's like the whole wait and see part. Gee, Carlos, do you?
No.
Yeah. Yeah? Sure there's no evil twin you forgot to mention? Stay. No, I'm afraid not. Not even go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime? To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence? I can't prove it yet. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart.
Hey!
But not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did.
Right.
Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way?
The lab finished with them a while ago.
What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure. I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway.
And here I thought the room smelled like...
Shh.
Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in... in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad?
Just relax, Carlos.
I'm pretty sure that's impossible.
You're innocent. And that means having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you.
Really?
Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing.
What was it that reminded me of?
Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us it's actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly.
She actually thought it over.
So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry. Just got thrown off at the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we all know died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old-world pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. This is the first one I'm not quite... Let's check out... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Examine the evidence. We're doing DGS style, Great Ace Attorney. Like, you examining new evidence. Blood on the sleeve matches the victim. No other details of any forensic significance found. Let's see. Since he was talking about smell before, I think I'm gonna do smell. Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of...
Cigarette. That's what I've been smelling.
Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation?
I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket?
If you would.
Let's see. Oh. No gunpowder.
Oh, that's right. That makes sense. Because if it was a point-blank shot, then yeah. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London?
Modern firearms like the one we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. And they don't leave behind any residue.
Gunpowder residue? You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one, it'll leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then this coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever! That just means he washed off before shooting her. He changed his clothes. That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you can reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing. As soon as possible.
Whoa.
They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times. The DA is gonna come in, isn't he? But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell right into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did she get a message? Huh.
Wait, did they actually manage to find it?
Something you would like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Want a bit? A photo of the shooter? If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure, there was. But this isn't from optics. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this! Left-handed? Well... Okay, the quality is lacking. We have a clock here, though. And yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in an old city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright. This isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... well, it's a little bit...
Blurry.
Yeah, seriously. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone.
Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if that phone was on, its camera would be on. And so we managed to get this shot through the window.
Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. Shh. You can't honestly claim that you can identify the client from this image. Let's check out. Oh, it's not in our evidence yet. Okay. And there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge.
Yeah, you're right. We probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon.
That photo.
What the hell is happening to me?
Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time as the whole neighborhood hearing a gunshot. And who do we know had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight. So he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever.
Forensics will never be perfect, Counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get to where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test.
Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, then that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from, exactly?
Exactly. Positional data is not usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DNO on the phone's owner and ask them where...
Why bother with any of that? Looks like it was taken through, just through window slots. And the time. Exactly 9 o'clock. Oh, here we go. because the camera was not set to photo mode at the time, the amount and quality of visual data was severely limited. File markers for post capture multi-spectral image enhancement indicate that the photo has already been cleaned up as best as possible. Is that the gun? Let's check out the gun again. Oh yeah, wait, I want to check the autopsy report. Time of death, 9 p.m. Yeah, the time is... That is the shooter. That's exactly the right time. But that gun looks very different from the revolver. Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that it was taken from across the north window. Crime scene map! Yep, right through that window here. Yeah, that tracks so far. Although there is one other possibility. Oh my god, I think I know what happened. The photo is of the shooter in a mirror. What they were seeing, oh, they couldn't because this thing is blocking him. I see. It's got to be from the mirror, isn't it? What the photo took is his image in the mirror. So that actually was the correct hand. Because the clock should be, let me check the photo again. The clock should be over here, right? I don't see the clock, though, here at all. Huh. From the north. It's, no, there's a ton of references to Turnabout Sisters in this. I love it. You know, if Capcom's not going to make Ace Attorney 7, this is already great. Seriously. This already feels like a worthy replacement with the way it's going. Like, this is great for a tutorial case. If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide. She's wrong. The photo was taken from the west. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARCS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And... you know, raise the ante on the hand up to the current max. And it's wrong, you lose more credit, but answer correctly. You may get more credit for trick your hands down the line. And altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider... Ah! Statement! Just take one look at the clock in the photo. The clock? What about it?
The clock, huh?
Oh, this music is totally Danganronpa. Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high.
This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong.
Nope, that's not it. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer's no! The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m.
Right. No mistaking that.
So then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. How's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but... Do you remember there being a clock in the room? Exactly! Yeah, I was looking at that. There was no clock there. What?
Actually, I don't recall there being a clock.
That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition.
It's, very distinct.
If you had information on the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info, doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slip my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is that that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred.
Then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it.
Don't start getting ahead of yourself! The victim was shot at 9. Same time the photo was taken with the shooter. But you want to claim that clock's on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Glass shards? What about them? Oh, nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that's...
But that doesn't make sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards?
Maybe they were looking for something? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, Were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes?
Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds.
So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal, and that things have gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, Detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her! And we've a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, Detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult. And maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because that man in the photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't! The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, the clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that the photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit. That's impossible! The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people! You're a very honest person, Detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And its HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is... Hell yeah! Time to max it out. There it is! What is that? You trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window. But then, that would mean...
At that angle from that viewpoint,
it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. There we go, the coup de grace. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. A sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. Oh my god, we're gonna do the Danganronpa thing! In summary, oh yay! Woo! My client's so-called confession was a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client. A man without the requisite limb. Standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. That's... He could have had a backup arm! He could have stolen one! A little stubbornness can be charming. Oh, a little stubbornness can be charming. But this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bear my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got. Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it to a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow gotten rid of it before the police arrive. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full-spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around at minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well... Any objections? Detective. God. Damn it! Fold.
Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you.
Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake.
Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid. You should know.
Detective?
Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger. And she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank it properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah.
That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work has its own reward.
Sure. I feel exactly the same, Counselor.
What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats, you get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact.
Yay? But what am I supposed to do?
The detectives will continue their investigation.
Their investigation into Heartbreak, huh?
Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements.
No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore.
People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean.
I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do?
Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors.
No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. To try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you.
You're welcome, Carlos. But it's my job to...
No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her.
Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. What?! The blood's always different. What?! Heart's always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. What the fuck?! A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. What the fuck? Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite at the end. But the comical thought of a body hitting the floor is its own kind of lowbrow appeal. What the fuck?! Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. How did she... How though? What the... What?! It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but... Whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around the dark in here must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey! Yeah, did you hear that? Who's saying that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with their sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. I didn't see anything I could even use as a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? What the fuck? How the... But... Why? Oh my god. I use the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean organized even. So the corpse has a certain satisfying contrast. Except there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. How, like... It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them. Not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn. Tear into the sheath of my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? Why is she doing this? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no. That's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially inept, impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times, or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes of fame in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. What the fuck? What is going on? The air is weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. Heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers. Yes, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. What exactly is going on? 2086. Okay, that's the current year.
Sorry, using my left is still...
That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. Initially in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. A gambler with a system must be, to a lesser or greater extent, insane. What the fuck? Okay, we already did this one. Oh god! Cannot carry a tune. What? Oh my god, December. Serious criminal defense attorney. Look at that. What the fuck? High places, gambling, guns. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning.
Okay. Where else?
Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was of course innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals. Maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room, just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fella seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus.
Thanks again, Morgan, for everything.
Oh my god!
I'm sure Diane is grateful too.
Oh god, Jesus Christ. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter?
No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died...
Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground.
No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me.
tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself.
What is it?
Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. The pills. Yeah, what is a...
What is... Where did you find that?
That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seemed like it contained triprexazone, prescribed to help martyrs with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Oh, 1 a.m. June 5th. Long night. I was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever see him again. But overstepping like that is just pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for heartbreak. The gun's in custody, there's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever... Found you! Who is that? District Attorney Rockford. Ooh!
Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fired.
That's the district attorney! By all means.
Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together.
Thank you.
I don't get it. How do you sleep at night?
Pardon?
You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God, he must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters.
Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state and at the court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. A very tired voice, less young, thanks. Okay, and despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What if they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well. Actually, I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved, finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No. Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and that new girl, Riz. They've been reporting in to me in preparation for the trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed and all excited to run down here. Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh. I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer. The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for weeks. She's not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon. But I can answer that any number of ways. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about, his dominant arm, mudded, with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention he's too tall for the ballistic entry angles. And probably too heavy not to leave imprints. She got all that from a glance. But I'm sure a confident lawyer like yourself pointed all that out in the minute you walked in here. Of course. Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, oh, right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100, the who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. So this profiling, it's like some kind of investigative technique. The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, it's just they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent. Almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized. And with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in this metaphor I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely. And considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. So does that mean heartbreaks in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how'd they know about the blackout timing? Crime statistics analysis. Probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips, and... Sorry. Technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. I'm up a spreadsheet and a calculator. Anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I've found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Do they? Sure. What? You don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Damn. Hello, ZU. Welcome to the stream. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer. You've got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake. Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you've said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet. Their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time round, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So, to summarize, you were looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with 8-digit population. Well, good luck! I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean, I need more crime scenes. Oh? Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch him. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? Nope, it isn't. The getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep more. Or sleep less but harder. You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. Oh my god! I could use a cup of coffee. Oh my god, this is Death Note and Ace Attorney combined. Crazy. Oh, wowzers. Nice. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Oh wait, did I That was Morgan, sorry. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you?
Don't tempt me.
If you fall asleep face first onto the table, I won't even take a picture.
Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats.
Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view.
Damn. Episode 0 end. Android.
Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while.
For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know.
There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. It may have well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yes, like that.
This friend of yours, they're trustworthy.
Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone.
Who is that?
Hey, come on, it'll be fun.
Really?
Really. Educational, too. I think you'd stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan.
Ah, she's getting a robot Maya. Evil little bug. God, jeez. Ah, we gotta find out what's going on. Why is she doing all this shit, though? Why, though? Crazy. I really want to see where this goes. God damn. End circle of the devil, episode 0, and he shall appear. To be continued in... You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people.
Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world.
You're a criminal defense attorney, and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next.
I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after 2.
Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat sign pose.
So that's not just a lawyer job thing. You're just like a doorman on the weekends too. Compare it to determining fault. Determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. Oh my god, she's our forensics, isn't she?
The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything.
We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's a million times more likely than the alternative. That Heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing.
Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it.
Episode 1, An Idle Mind. Which we'll be doing next time. Alright. Results. Congratulations, you finished episode 0 with 34 credit. Also unlock content art and bonus scenarios. Oh, what's that? 34 remaining store credits to spend on phone charms and case colors. We gotta see. All right, let's see. Yeah, we definitely have time. Was she really living out a fantasy of killing Emma? Oh my god. Let's check out the interviews, yeah.
You want to interview me? It's very flattering, but aren't there more lively folks around here for you to question?
I'm guessing this is the robot girl. I considered that.
So I'm not your first choice.
You are the first one who hasn't walked away.
Come to think of it, I should probably...
So what are your 3 sizes?
Have you been opening with that?
Should I not? Do you have any pets?
Right not. Would need 1 or 2. Or 3 promotions to afford that kind of thing.
Are pets that expensive?
Only if you care about them. Maybe if I found a place closer to the park.
Have you ever owned any automated dependents?
Not had the chance.
Would you own one if you could?
Maybe one of the little vacuum ones. Anything more complicated than that is,
If you find the owner's manuals intimidating, there are video-based tutorials I could show you.
I'm not worried about the easy use, don't worry. When I said complicated, I mean... It's like what I said about pets. Learn to leave a goldfish in a tiny bowl. Time it takes to swim half a lap, it'll have forgotten what a first half looks like. Not a very tall hierarchy of needs there, easy to please. But a cat? A dog? I don't want to be at work thinking about how bored they are sitting at home. And today's ads are a lot smarter than dogs. About most things.
That's a very thoughtful perspective, Detective London.
It's a moot point anyway. I need to get hit by a city bus to afford any of the new stuff Noble's selling. No, you're thinking of the sheltered generation.
Sheltered, as in sheltered upbringing.
Or shelter in place. There was a lot of uncertainty during their childhood. So when they grow up, they wanted surety, safety, stability. Want to know that their heat would stay on in the winter. And their politics reflected that. That was all before my time. My generation is a little more, well, Generation Z. That's what they called us in their think pieces. Even-tempered, mentally strong, and more than a little cynical.
You disagree?
It wasn't a matter of mindfulness, we just grew up without false expectations. Our vision was unclouded with illusions about impossibilities like home ownership. Or retirement. Realized early on that we'd be working right up until we...
Detective.
Unrealistic expectations. Some people call that hope. See your friends, your classmates drowning every day in that kind of mire. And then have to listen to people 3 times your age go on about how enlightened today's youth are. Gen Z. Not a name I'm particularly fond of.
So how long have you been in law enforcement?
Too long.
More things change, the more they stay the same.
And how long have you been with the homicide department?
Not that long by comparison. Sorry, don't mean to be overly vague. If you really want to know, I spent the bulk of my career over in Austin.
Was it different from homicide?
Flashier, I'd say. Everyone jokes that homicides solve themselves in a city with this many cameras. Meanwhile, fraud and disinfo are so entrenched in the tech arms race they barely come up for air. But Austin really hasn't changed that much in the modern era. Fire's still very good at destroying evidence. Can't expect a drone net to sweep into burnt rubble and pick you back out the culprit's fingerprints and driver's license. A lot of legwork, a lot of interviewing. And since more than half of the culprits we caught were burners helping Megs commit insurance fraud, we spent a lot of time making friends and enemies in high-rise corporate boardrooms.
Megs.
Just slang for mega corporations, which is also just slang.
At what size does a corporation become mega?
It's not really about gross revenue or how many countries you operate in. If you're big enough to crush people, you're a meg.
An apex predator among apex predators. Like the Ototus megalodon of the Miocene epoch.
Hey, that's... Wait, is that where it comes from?
So why are you working in the homicide department?
What's that?
Why'd you leave arson?
The smoke.
The smoke.
Just got to a point where I couldn't stand the smell.
Press interview, let's go.
Okay, you can start now that my desktop's censored. So for the record, your full name is Farah Reyes. And how is that pronounced? You like how I just said it?
Farah Reyes.
Thank you. Your birthday is October 19th. And how do you take your coffee?
She makes you fetch the coffee?
Figures.
Wait, let me guess. Counselor Morgan takes her coffee black. No, decaf. Like a real psychopath.
Decaf, yes. Sometimes with milk.
Nice. That's even worse.
And you, detective?
Hello, Nagitona. Welcome to the stream. With 2 sugars and a bottle of water. Now that I've got this.
You mean your eye? When did you have it modded?
After I learned I was getting promoted to detective. And before I realized I was getting promoted to homicide.
Do you regret it?
No. Would have wanted to work for it for work eventually. If it takes me a while longer to pay off than I expected. Well, I'm hardly the only person my age walking around with their debt socketed onto them.
I see. What are your likes?
My likes. Pretty broad ask, don't you think?
In that case, perhaps you'd find it easier to describe your dislikes.
Small plates.
Oh.
I hate that dinner by 1,000 cut shit.
I see.
And I dislike cheap people, and liars, and lawyers.
Lawyers.
They're smug, prideful, they bill by the minute, greed personified.
Like their time is so goddamn important. And they're annoying, pale, and smug.
Should I put down smug twice? So what do you like, detective? Do you have hobbies? Areas of interest?
Well, automotive history, maybe.
Oh, could you say more about that?
I guess I could talk about it a little bit.
Falling Station has been altered from its original format. It has been edited for time.
Hackwood, which is supposed to be a luxury version of a pickup truck. As if there's a market for that. It's so stupid. I love it. And Istachrome, a purplish, bluish, chromish color. The copyright was so intense that just mixing the paint was illegal. Naturally aspirated. Can you imagine?
I see. Do you own a car yourself?
You're joking, right? I'd rather eat asphalt than buy an EV with my hard-earned money.
Falling Station has also been altered. It's been edited for time. Strong language.
Forward is a computer chip. That's not engineering, that's barely even programming, and as if acceleration was all that mattered. Any race longer than 2 seconds at simulated engine noise. Annoying. Who in their right mind?
I believe that fills out your dislike section. So, what is your favorite drink?
Dark and Stormy's pretty good.
How do you make that?
Ginger beer, rum, and a lot of lime juice. You put together a recipe book or something?
Who is your hero?
Well, that one's easy. Detective Cassine London, of course.
Oh. Should I relay your sentiments to him? I'm sure he'd love to hear them.
Somehow, I doubt that you'd get the tone right.
Very well. In that case, what are your 3 sizes?
My what?
The measurements for your bust, waist, and...
I'm not telling you that. Where the hell are you getting these questions from?
I designed my interview process to extract all the same kinds of facts that are most commonly listed online.
On what websites?
Open source, collaborative, community-focused databases.
You mean like a wiki?
Would you prefer to skip this question?
Tell you what. If you can find a single person who does answer that question, I'll give you mine down to the millimeter.
All right, now Carlos interview.
So this is like an off-boarding thing? An exit interview?
Yes, it is like that.
Oh. Well, that's sweet of Morgan. Still worrying about me.
Oh, God.
How'd she know I'd be here?
She didn't. Why are you here?
Oh. Hoping to get back some of my shit. Some of my stuff the police collected as evidence. Don't tell Morgan that, by the way.
Is there something embarrassing among what they seized?
No, it's just I'm guessing as my lawyer. Is she still my lawyer? Well, as a lawyer, she'd probably know the exact right form to get this stuff back, but... It's okay. I wanted to do this myself.
Why is that?
Conquering my fears, maybe? Last time I came here, I was dragged in. Strong-armed. Everything was going so fast I barely spoke. I didn't stand up for myself. But I've been able to stop and think things through clearly. Well, I could never have done what Morgan did, but maybe I wouldn't have gotten myself dug so deep.
It must have been very upsetting, being accused of something so terrible. I'm sure you reacted just as well as anyone could be expected to.
thanks, I think. My arm? No, it's not back yet. At this point, I might be better off getting an upgrade rather than waiting for my current model to get fixed.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, it is. Can't downgrade, can't trade in, can't opt out. But Hindi will let me upgrade anytime.
Do you ever regret it? Getting modded?
Sometimes. But I have a lot of regrets. Compared to some of them, buyer's remorse is...
How do you deal with your buyer's remorse?
Lately? Lately I've been lying face down on the floor and exhaling. Just for 30 seconds. I count to 30.
And you feel better afterwards?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the protests, but I've never... There's a lot of pains being a martyr. Makes sense that people who have loud opinions want them heard. But we all made the choice and signed the papers. I guess that's just it, huh? Not all of us made the choice ourselves. I got modded to help my career. Didn't need to get modded just in order to have one. But a lot of people did, and do. There was this guy who worked with us for 1 quarter. Probably a vet, but definitely didn't want to talk about it, so none of us asked. Good co-worker, very gung-ho, cheery, in a musclehead kind of way. It's a physical job, so there's no slouches, but he wasn't just fit, he was cut and handsome. And so when he kept showing up to work with more and more mods, all of them cosmetic, I didn't get it. What's he missing? What's a guy like that want to change about himself? Got offered full time at the end of the contract, but he said he needed something that paid better. Turns out he'd blown every paycheck at elective surgeons. A pal of mine in HR said he had given insurance info to 6 different clinics in the span of 4 weeks. Or it is he wasn't even using the pain pills, sold them to some of the drivers for extra cash. That's the worst I've ever seen it. Grafting, runaway, or plastophilia, whatever they're calling it. It's not the only time I've seen it. It's not like there's no incentive for it. Because there are plenty of megs out there that see people hurting like that and think, there's an ideal worker. So you work for Morgan and you're... Wow. Lawyers must make more money than I realized. Wait, are you here to give me the bill? How much do I owe?
You don't owe her anything. Her services were paid for by the state. And I happen to be forbidden from handling any kind of financials, due to an ongoing dispute about what constitutes essential office supplies.
I hear ya. Diane was always the money-smart one. Pretty strict, actually. Unless she saw a fidget tubby on the shelf. You could see her eyes light up. Could hear her huffing like she just won the lottery. They're ugly cute, babe. And I would say, well, you're cute, babe. Believe it or not, she thought I was pretty suave.
Oh. Playback complete. Right now, Morgans. You're going to interview me? Here? You did just say I need to practice asking better questions. But right now? Because you said the police would be making us wait so they feel more important for the next 20 minutes. Is there some more productive way we could spend that time? I was planning on napping. For 20 minutes. In the lobby of a police precinct. I can fall asleep anywhere. It's one of my many hidden talents. You're gonna write all this down? Could you start with your name for the record? Morgan. And your first name? You should know by now that no one calls me by my first name. That's something you have control over. I wouldn't want to force the issue. How long has that been the case? As long as I care to remember. Then what did your parents call you? The tumor. Damn! Oh, that was a joke. Oh. Maybe we should have started you off with someone a little more your speed. Who better to start with than you? Someone who likes talking about themselves. You seem to talk about yourself as much as anyone else does. Or more. I tell people things about myself. It's different. Because you're lying. Now you're getting it. It's not very polite to lie. On the contrary, telling the truth is usually rude. I'm not sure that your clients would appreciate that sentiment. We're not talking about my clients. We're talking about manners. We were supposed to be talking about you. Look, the sooner you learn this, the better. When people ask how you are or what you've been up to, they're not looking for anything nearly as so heavy as the truth. They're just following the template. And the polite thing to do is for you to follow the template as well. Here, let's practice. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Way too late. The whole point is to be on autopilot. Now you force them to grab the wheel, check the mirrors, and no one's ever grateful for the extra workload. You can be very cynical about these kinds of things at times. I'm just trying to teach. I'm just trying to tell you that people are fundamentally lazy. So if you want to be a social butterfly like me, try not to make them work too hard. Fundamentally lazy. Do you think people are fundamentally good, too? Obviously. If they weren't, they wouldn't be so easy to trick. So are you planning on answering any of my questions about yourself? I've still got time to kill. Fire away. Will you be honest? I wouldn't want to be rude. When is your birthday? Wait, you're not trying to guess my passwords, are you? I would never commit identity fraud. Not the worst way of going about it, actually. December 26th. The 26th. No, it's not. It's the exact opposite of almost Christmas. Oh my god. That's the exact opposite. It's probably the furthest away from Christmas you could get. Oh my god. The 26th, that's almost Christmas. But all they're doing the full thing. But almost Christmas. That's all you get. They're doing the whole thing. Means it's not Christmas. Are you doing a reference, really? Really that blatant? Your insides are always so original. Did you receive your presents on your birthday? Or on Christmas? What do you mean? Did you not celebrate Christmas in your family? We did. So did your parents give you presents on the 25th or the 26th? Well, I got Christmas presents on Christmas, and I got birthday presents on my birthday. Obviously. Are all your questions going to be this strange? What is your favorite color? Are all your questions going to be this juvenile? If you prefer something weightier, do you volunteer? No. Do you donate? Yes. What causes do you donate towards? Endangered wildlife. What with the face? It's on auto renewal, I just haven't cancelled it yet. You've mentioned a mentor figure before. No way I ever called her a mentor. A busybody, maybe. World record holder for billable hours spent under the influence, perhaps. Or just, you know, the cougar from hell. If she had rubbed off on me in any way, I'd have hives. I see. Is she a smoker? Lastly, do you know your 3 sizes? I do. Would you tell me? That's private. You value your privacy very highly, don't you? More like everyone else doesn't value it enough. Water's rising. The world's getting smaller, literally. Less real estate to go around. And everything's connected to everything else. These days, just wanting some time or space to yourself is considered selfish. Or worse. Only the guilty has something to hide. I don't like that phrase. Laws like the Mob Act have made it so anonymity and privacy are luxuries. Privilege is reserved for the privileged. And if anyone below that tax bracket tries to claw away a little bit of it from themselves, well, it can only be because they're guilty, right? Is that why you became a criminal defense attorney? To defend people's innocence? That's private. All right. Wow. Well, that's a really great way to end this episode. Next time, we'll start episode 1. Tomorrow we'll do some Xanadu, and yeah, next episode will be on Saturday. But so, all right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see where this goes. Death Note, Ace Attorney combined. Jeez Louise Cruises. I wonder how the investigation sections are going to work. So, yeah, until next time, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. Oh, wait, I can save here, can I? I should do it. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.